Hello, and welcome to Freethought Matters, a talk show about atheism and secularism produced by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I'm Laurie Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker. We are co-presidents of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest association of freethinkers, atheists, and agnostics, working as a state church watchdog to keep religion out of government. Please join us in our work so that reason and our secular constitution will prevail. You can sign up as a member at ffrf.org or ask for a sample of our newspaper, Freethought Today.
The theme for our show today is Think. That's in capital letters. That's the name of an educational nonprofit producing shareable, science-based, multilingual videos to inform and inspire underserved communities. And our guest is Think's co-founder, Bonya Ahmed, who is a Bangladeshi-American secular activist. Bonya Ahmed has received the Forward Award from the Freedom from Religion Foundation and has given a TED Talk called Narratives Can Be Deadly, How I Recovered from a Terror Attack.
So, Bona, good to see you again, and welcome back to Freethought Matters.
Good to see you too. Thanks for inviting me today.
So, Bonya, we've talked with you in the past about this Islamic attack in Bangladesh in 2015 that nearly killed you and did kill your husband, Avijit Roy, who was a well-known atheist and author. And you have co-founded Think, which specializes in short educational videos. Many of them are directed to your home country of Bangladesh. And I'm wondering, do you consider Think in part to be a memorial to Avijit, carrying on his legacy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, Avijit and I had, though we worked together, we had little different interests. Like, I wrote a book on evolution and I wanted to do educational, free-thinking educational stuff. And he always told me, that if I did anything like that, wanted to create something, he would be there for me. So when I work on this, it is hard. I miss him more every time I work on this.
Well, he sounds like just an amazing person. I wish we could have met him. But you're continuing his work and your work through Think, which you now call, do you put an exclamation point or is it just Think?
No, we took it out.
Okay.
We had that exclamation first, but then some people thought it would be kind of rude. I don't know.
Well.
So especially my daughter, she's very critical about everything. She's a journalist.
And she's a daughter. So
Yes.
We're going to watch a few clips from your amazing videos that you and your team have put together. They're just incredible. And but before we do, maybe tell us who's involved. I mean, you must have a great team of talent on this project.
Oh my gosh, it has been such a great journey. It took us like more than almost like 2 years to set it up. And I met Imtiaz, my co-founder, in London, and we were talking. He wanted to create something like this, similar, not the same. And I was like, I've been thinking about this for last 10 years. I used to see the PBS Yawn videos and Crash Course and those, and used to tell Avijit all the time that if I had, the resources and the time, I would create something like this. And he was on board right away. When I was living in London for a couple of years. And then it took us almost a year just to get started with the videos. Had a lot of friends who make BBC documentaries and like award-winning documentarians and filmmakers, and they all actually gave us a hand. But the best part of this is our core team. The full-time employees are actually the secular bloggers from Bangladesh who were forced to leave the country, flee the country, and they have actually trained themselves, like our editor who makes the videos, our main editor, Shabak, you guys know him, like Camellia, whose husband was actually jailed for being an atheist by the government in Bangladesh before these attacks started. inflicted on us. So this has been a wonderful team, and we're so glad that we could get these talents. And we have a huge volunteer group who does help, like all of them work on the projects, different projects that we do. Couldn't do this without them.
So to backtrack just a little bit, after Avijit Roy and you were attacked and he was killed in Bangladesh, it kind of set off a whole bunch of killings and threats of killings. And so there was sort of a mass exodus of people to escape, right? Or trying to escape. So,
right, because the government wasn't given any support. They pretty much encouraged them to leave the country because they said they couldn't do anything. The police, if you went to the police, they said just leave or stop writing.
So it's such a nice story to see this now kind of in full circle. All of these individuals who are now reaching back to Bangladesh and Southeast Asia with these informative videos that kind of counteract all of the Islamist indoctrination and help inform the public.
Yeah, it's actually we started with Bangla and English. We have plans to extend it to in different languages like Hindi, Urdu, Arabic in the future if we can. It's not only the Islamic fundamentalism. The Bangla videos we are making now, we kind of put the English ones on hold. It serves like almost 300 million people between India and Bangladesh. And in India, like Hindu nationalism is they're grappling with Hindu nationalism right now as well.
So speaking of that, one of the earliest videos you made was called how ancient DNA is affecting, how it's rewriting India's history. And, white supremacy and the India caste system has this myth about a supreme level of caste.
The human species has hardly stayed in one place. We've continuously moved, spread all around the world, and bred with each other. All of us are nothing but mixes. Genetic studies have shown we're not just mixed within our species, but we've even bred with other extinct human species like the Neanderthals and the Denisovans. So what unites us today is that we are just one species, Homo sapiens. And both scientifically and morally, there is no basis for discrimination based on race, caste, or religion, just as there's just no basis for the concept of purity or excellence of one arbitrary group over another. This ideology has been weaponized time and time again for political gain or economic interest. But like all ideas, they only persist if we allow ourselves to remain ignorant.
So that's just the end of it, but it's fascinating because you really show the evolution of migration to India and all the different communities that make it up. Has that been controversial, that video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we made some Indian nationalists very, very unhappy. There were a lot of harsh comments on that. And that is a very interesting video, actually. I read Dr. David Reich's book a few years ago when they were actually just doing these. They have started and working on the ancient DNA analysis. And what happened was, so in the beginning of 20th century, when India was a British colony, and at that time they found or discovered the ancient civilization of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, and immediately, the British said this has to be built by the white Aryans who migrated to India a few thousand years ago. This cannot be built by the native brown people here. Though a lot of historians, Indian historians, have actually debunked that in the past. This ancient DNA analysis kind of like puts an end to that discussion because these great civilizations, unthinkable civilization in Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were built by the local native Indians who were actually our ancestors who moved to India around like 50 to 70,000 years ago and settled there during the migration out of India, out of Africa. And then, and in the middle, a lot of other people from Middle East, like especially Iranians, also settled and got mixed with the local population. And they were the ones who built this amazing civilization, like 9,000 to 4,000 years ago. So the Aryans came after that. If we can blame the Aryans for anything, it might be that they were one of the reasons for its destruction. Though a lot of people say the climate change might be the reason for that.
So we want to show another video which has got English subtitles that was very moving to me, which is called Period. And just could you briefly introduce this in about a minute about why you wanted to make this?
Oh, that is interesting. We were actually working on a different video at that time, but I think what happened was, as far as I remember, there is a group who make videos for text, like to support the textbooks for schools. And their founder got in trouble for making 2 videos. This was like a few months ago, maybe 6 to 8 months ago. And because they made 2 videos, one was on period, and the other one was not. I don't think they made a video on the second one. What happened was one of their employees went to Oxford or somewhere to study and changed his Facebook profile to the rainbow flag to support the Pride movement, the Pride in London. And they got in serious trouble in Bangladesh by the religious fundamentalists. And he basically got threatened. This is a young guy who founded this, organization. He got threatened to a point that he had to come online and apologize and had to show that how big of a Muslim he is. So at that point, I was like, we don't live in Bangladesh. I think we can go ahead and make a video, an extensive video, with lots of footages and all the information, the evolutionary background of, period. And we just built this. We just made this video right away.
So this is about menstruation. Let's look at it.
আজও বহু সমাজেই মাসিক বা পিরিয়ড ঋতুস্রাব বা রজস্রাব যে নামেই ডাকেন না কেন শুধু একটা বিশাল ট্যাবুই নয়, একে দূষণ, অচ্ছুত, অপবিত্র বা বিপজ্জনক হিসাবে গণ্য করা হয়। এখনো অসংখ্য বাঙালি মেয়ে মাসিকের সময় মাছ, মাংস, ডিম ছোঁয় না, রান্নাঘরে ঢোকে না। অসাবধানতাবশত পোশাকে রক্তের দাগ লেগে গেলে লজ্জার সীমা থাকে না। এই মাসিক নিয়ে ছেলেদের মধ্যে হাসাহাসি, টিটকারি বা নোংরা চুটকিরও অভাব নেই। দোকানদার স্যানিটারি ন্যাপকিন এমন ভাবে কাগজে মুড়ে দেন যেন নিষিদ্ধ কোনো বস্তু। পুরো ব্যাপারটাই কেমন যেন প্রচন্ড লজ্জা আর সংকোচের। অথচ পৃথিবীর অর্ধেক মানুষের জন্য এটা একটা বাস্তবতা। একজন নারীর প্রতি মাসে 2 থেকে 7 দিন মাসিক হয়। তাকে গড়ে জীবনের প্রায় 6 বছরের মতো সময় এর মধ্যে দিয়ে যেতে হয়। এই মুহূর্তের কথাই ধরুন না, পৃথিবী জুড়ে প্রায় 30 কোটি মানুষের এখন এই মুহূর্তে পিরিয়ড হচ্ছে। মাসিক নিয়ে এই যে এত লুকোছাপা, কুসংস্কার, অজ্ঞানতা, আজকের দিনে এর কি কোনো ভিত্তি আছে?
So almost all of the religions of the world share in common that they humiliate and degrade women for the natural life-giving function of their period. So that's a really universal video that you've done.
Well, and this is groundbreaking what you're doing. A lot of these people have never seen videos like this and got information like this before in their own language.
That's exactly the point, that we wanted to bring this to them in our native language, Bangla, because it doesn't matter how much dubbing or how much of translation or subtitles you do, unless it is in your own language, it doesn't really touch you. And only because, these are the populations who cannot afford these kind of videos, they will be deprived of these kind of knowledge, education. That was the reason that I founded Think.
So we have to take a break, Bona, but after the break we're going to watch another controversial video called Transgender
And then we're going to take a
Bangladesh.
look at some of the wonderful science videos that you've produced too.
Hi, I'm Ron Reagan, an unabashed atheist, and I'm alarmed by the intrusions of religion into our secular government. That's why I'm asking you to support the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest and most effective association of atheists and agnostics, working to keep state and church separate, just like our founding fathers intended. Please support the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Ron Reagan, lifelong atheist, not afraid of burning in hell.
My name is Sam, and I am an out-of-the-closet atheist because I find it both intellectually satisfying and essential to question my own belief system and to find internally consistent reasons to justify what I believe. Because morality is a human invention, I not only scrutinize my own ethical system, but also the ethical systems employed by others. And what I have found is that religion does not provide people with a reasoned moral framework from which to act. Quite to the contrary, religion allows people to be intellectually lazy by simply claiming that their ethical conduct is divinely mandated, rather than having to justify their beliefs through reason. In this sense, religion is a shield, protecting the religious from external critique and also from personal reflection. I'm an atheist because being dogmatic is not a virtue. Dogma is the antithesis of intelligent reflection.
Thank you for watching Freethought Matters. You can find more content by the Freedom from Religion Foundation at our website, FFRF.org. Follow FFRF on Facebook, and you'll get notifications about all of our content, including whenever we go live on FFRF's Ask an Atheist. FFRF is also on YouTube, where all of our programs, including this show and our weekly news bites, are available to watch anytime. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the web.
And welcome back to Freethought Matters. We're continuing our conversation with Bonya Ahmed, an activist, a video producer whose company called Think is educating the world, especially in Bangladesh, about many important issues. Before we continue our conversation, let's look at a little bit of a video, an amazing video, controversial video you made, Bona, called Transgender Bangladesh.
পুরুষের শরীর নিয়ে জন্মেও আসলে পুরুষ নই। আর তারপরে যেটা হতো যে জেন্ডার অ্যান্ড সেক্সুয়ালিটির অন্য একটা আইডেন্টিটিকে আমি আমার ভেতরে ধারণ করতাম এবং সেটা বলে নিজেকে চালিয়ে দিতে চেষ্টা করতাম। বিং মুসলিম, আমাদের ধর্মীয় রীতিতে কিছু দিন আছে, কিছু দিবস আছে, শবে কদর, শবে বরাত। সো বলা হয়ে থাকে যে ওই দিনগুলোতে সৃষ্টিকর্তার কাছে যা চাওয়া হয় উনি সেটা মানে পূরণ করে দেয়। সো যেটা করতাম আমি ওই সময়টাতে, ওই ছোটোবেলাটাতে যতগুলো শবে কদর, শবে বরাতের রাত আসতো, ওই ছোটো বয়সে আমি সারা রাত মসজিদে কাটাতাম এবং নামাজ পড়তাম। একটাই প্রে করতাম গডের কাছে যে আমি ঘুমিয়ে পড়বো এবং কোনো একদিন সকালে ঘুম থেকে ওঠার পরে দেখবো আমি মেয়ে হয়ে গেছি।
So transgender, these are all made, many of them are made right in Bangladesh, so you must have some production crew there.
Oh, this is interesting. Actually, this was filmed by the photographer who actually saved my life after the attack. When he didn't know us, and after we were hacked with machetes, we were left on the street, and a lot of people were surrounding us and all that, but they were scared. So this guy, Bonya Ahmed, picked us up and took us in a three-wheeler and took us to the hospital where Avijit died. And and I was bleeding from all these like open wounds. If he didn't take us to the hospital, I wouldn't be here today. So he's the one who actually asked us that if we would be willing to make a video with Hutumin, a wonderful person. She is doing so much work in Bangladesh for transgender community. This transgender thing, the trans thing in Bangladesh is not, it's a taboo, but it's not a sin like being a homosexual, So if you're transgender, you are kind of like thrown in a corner and you are expected to just beg and do some illegal things and just live a really, poor and bad life. But Ho Chi Minh has shown that if they get a little bit of support from the society, then they can actually live a normal life, just like others. And this video actually went viral in Facebook. We have almost, I think, 900,000 or 1 million views, and a lot of people came in and showed support for him. For her, I'm sorry.
That's amazing. I didn't know it was the same photographer. But yet you are reaching out in this marvelous way. So.
How many people in the world speak Bangla?
Almost 300 million people. Could be 280, 290 most probably.
Isn't it the eighth most popular language? So I think we just have time for a few more videos on science, which is a very strong part of Think. And we have a video, I think, about why doesn't the sun burn out? We just have a little snippet of that.
So what really happens once the protons tunnel through each other? When protons of the hydrogen atoms fuse together, they make helium. This also releases energy as gamma photons. This process is called the proton-to-proton reaction chain. All photons are particles of light, but within photons, gamma photons are much more powerful. The gamma photons created in this proton-to-proton chain are the source of energy of most of the stars in the universe.
So that's about science, and I bet a lot of people for the first time are seeing educational videos in their own language about science. And speaking of science, you were really quick to get some things out on the coronavirus. Is that right?
We did quite a few videos actually on coronavirus right away. I had to move out of London. Yeah. And so we didn't have a studio. So at that time, we started doing audio-only videos. We rolled out, starting from the science behind how the virus works to what people need to do and how a vaccine works, all of that.
I was amazed. I learned so much. The first video came out so quickly. It was also new.
Thank you.
So then evolution as well. You have a video about human evolution. Let's look at a little clip of that video.
এখন আমরা জানি না শুধু ফসিল রেকর্ড থেকেই নয়, আণবিক জীববিদ্যা, আধুনিক জেনেটিক্স, জিনোমিক্সের ব্যাপক পরীক্ষা নিরীক্ষা থেকেও আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি ৮০ লক্ষ থেকে ১ কোটি বছর আগে গরিলা, বনবো, শিম্পাঞ্জি এবং আমাদের আধুনিক মানুষের পূর্বসূরীরা এক ছিল। মোটামুটি শেষ সময়ই গরিলার পূর্বসূরীরা আলাদা হয়ে গিয়ে স্বতন্ত্রভাবে বিবর্তিত।
Well, Bona, you wrote a book about evolution, so this is right down your alley. And then I know there's a video that has gotten a lot of attention, and it's beautiful. And it's about how the subcontinent of India came together with this big crash and created the Himalayas. And I think we have a short clip of that.
The Himalayas are huge, and the Himalayas are beautiful. And it was plate tectonics that caused the Indian plate to crash into the Eurasian plate 50 million years ago. This violent collision created the highest mountains in the world, spreading across 1,500 miles. The Himalayas are so beautiful that many of its peaks are considered holy in both Buddhism and Hinduism. When we say plate tectonics, we mean the geological theory that the Earth's surface is made of many insanely massive plates, which hold continents on top of them. All of these continents move. And you might think, but continents are huge, how can they move? Well, deep inside the Earth, it's hot, like real hot. And when that energy builds up, it creates currents of molten Earth, which make its outer shell, the continents, move. This tectonic process began probably about 3.5 billion years ago, after the Earth started cooling down.
So if you go to the video, you can see this amazing footage, your animation showing the continents actually crashing together, and then beautiful footage of the Himalayas. So people have to watch it in person. And Bona, how can viewers watch these videos? And maybe more important, how can they help you produce more of them?
You can just search on YouTube, Think English or Think Bangla, Bangla, and you can get to our channel. Also, we have a website. It's called thinkschool.org, and we also have a donate button, which will take you to the Patreon membership. And if you like our videos and want to support us, this is a very expensive endeavor. And thanks to FFRF for being such a great friend in this journey. And if you want to help us, you can actually be a Patreon member through our website.
So you have videos in Bangla, and the same videos in 2 different languages, and you're going to
in some cases.
And you're going to aim for more languages in the future?
Yes, but it all depends on funding. We are just finding out more and more how expensive it is to make good quality, with dependable material, how to make like videos with experts so that we don't say anything wrong.
So you have interviewed a lot of scientists. We weren't able to show all the footage, but you have a video, for example, on how birds became dinosaurs. That's a fun one. And what is
evolution is actually a very big taboo subject in Bangladesh. To be honest, my book actually was doing very, very well. It was in Bangladesh for almost 10 years. And then the publisher got so scared that stopped publishing it anymore after 2015. So now actually I'm talking to another publisher about it, like about the second edition of that book. But so we have decided that we are working with quite a few Bangla speaking experts here, like working in the academia and research community, to make a series of videos on evolution.
Well, it's such a gift to the world and to Bangladesh. To counteract ignorance and reach, people in their homes, on their computers. So we're very excited about it, and we're very glad that you put this together and you could join us today, Bona.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Freethought Matters.
Because free thought matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Pinker. In my book, Enlightenment Now, I show that the world has become a better place as reason has been overcoming superstition and tribalism. But the values of the Enlightenment are under attack. That's why I'm a proud member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest association of free thinkers working to keep state and church separate. Please join me in supporting the Freedom from Religion Foundation to ensure that our government is driven not by religion, but by reason.